Have you ever felt like a ghost in your own life? Physically present but spiritually absent. You speak, but your words seem meaningless. You act, but your actions leave no trace. You move through the world, but you feel like no one truly sees you. A gray, empty silhouette that loses color and substance day by day. If you recognize this feeling, pay attention, because we're about to talk about the hidden cause of this invisibility. History repeats itself. You wake up with sudden clarity. The silent promise that today will be different. You feel the potential throb, the ambition to build, to create, to be the man you know you can be. But night falls, bringing silence and solitude, and a dark struggle begins in your mind. The man you aspire to be wrestles with the habit that consumes you, and once again, habit prevails. The ritual repeats itself. The click, the release, the fleeting relief, and the next day, the ghost returns. Paler, weaker. What happened wasn't just simple relief. It was a betrayal. You betrayed the man you promised to be that morning, and that betrayal has a real energetic cost. This has a name, a hemorrhage of vital force. It's not a character flaw, but rather a mismanagement of energy. The force that should give you stature, presence, and power escapes, day after day, through the squandering of solitary and easy pleasures. And this inner hemorrhage manifests as outward failure. Tomorrow's procrastination comes at the price of tonight's fleeting pleasure. Your lack of courage to start your own business is fueled by the energy you devote to pornography. The no, you can't bring yourself to say to your boss stems from the weakness of the yes you whispered to your addiction in the dark. It's not weakness that makes you fail in life. You've weakened yourself because you can't harness your primary source of energy. What if you could close that valve? What if you could start harnessing that energy and use it to rebuild yourself from within? This video is your protocol. It's a precise guide to breaking free from your lethargy and becoming a force of nature. We're going to show you what happens when you decide to break free from addiction. In 7 days, you'll feel the first signs of clarity, proof that you're stronger than your addiction. In 30 days, you'll feel the flame reignite. Your mind will clear, your discipline will become a reality, and your presence will begin to carry weight. And in 90 days, the reconstruction is complete. The ghost disappears. A strong, charismatic, and unshakable man emerges. A man who no longer needs comforting, because he has regained his balance. This is the path to stability. It is not about deprivation, but about rebuilding. If you're ready to step out of the shadows and become an essential presence, your transformation starts now. The Neuroalchemy channel's sole purpose is to provide you with the tools and guidance you need for this transformation. This video is your protocol, your starting point. If you're truly motivated by this process, subscribing is the next logical step to ensure you don't miss any information. The decision, as always, is yours. Let's now move on to the first phase of your reconstruction. This reconstruction requires, above all, the dismantling of a lie, the one our culture has instilled in you, about the nature and purpose of pleasure. You've been conditioned to believe that orgasm, at its peak intensity, represents the climax of the experience, the ultimate goal. You've been taught to seek this orgasm as quickly and efficiently as possible, like a hunter stalking its prey. But this view of pleasure is immature and incomplete. It rests solely on the neurochemistry of dopamine. Dopamine is the molecule of the hunt, of anticipation, of the desire for more and more. It's triggered by novelty and the promise of a reward. This is what drives you to endlessly scroll through your newsfeed, searching for the next video, the next image. Dopamine is never satisfied. It's always asking what's next. This is why dopamine-based pleasure, like that provided by pornography, is inherently addictive and never brings satisfaction. It keeps you in an endless, insatiable cycle of seeking. However, there is another type of pleasure, much deeper and more lasting, linked to neurotransmitters like serotonin. Serotonin isn't associated with the pursuit, but with satisfaction. It's the feeling of accomplishment. I am fulfilled here and now. It's the pleasure that doesn't come from chasing, but from presence, from genuine connection, from the satisfaction of a job well done. After intense training, the initial pride gives way to a radical neurochemical reprogramming. It's about consciously choosing to break free from dopamine addiction, from the constant pursuit of fleeting thrills, and instead, cultivating a state of inner strength and fulfillment. It's about exchanging ephemeral excitement for profound peace. And the first battle in this war to recalibrate your reward system is, without a doubt, the most brutal: the first 7 days. The spiritual struggle of these 7 days of discipline is not a simple exercise in discipline. It is a guerrilla war waged in the very core of your soul. This is where 90% of people give up, for it is at this precise moment that your body, your mind and your soul, prisoners of your old habits, rebel with unsuspected force. The body screams. During the first few days, your body will experience withdrawal symptoms. This isn't your imagination. It's physiological. You might experience headaches, extreme lethargy, discomfort in your testicles, and paradoxically persistent insomnia. Your brain, accustomed to receiving massive and regular doses of dopamine during orgasm, is experiencing withdrawal. Panic sets in and uses these physical sensations to force you back into your old, reassuring and predictable habits. It's the mind's trick. Your mind, an ally of your addiction, will become your most formidable enemy. It will sow thoughts with surgical precision. You will have rationalizing thoughts. This isn't healthy. Suppressing all of this will hurt me. Bargaining thoughts. Okay, just one last time and then I'll get serious. Normalizing thoughts. Everyone does it. It's not that bad. So I'm being too hard on myself. Tempting thoughts. Your mind projects the most vivid and powerful fantasies you've ever had, making the desire almost unbearable. Confrontation with emptiness. The hardest part is what happens when the anesthesia wears off. The water retention during the first 7 days forces you to confront everything. You were running from the anxiety about the future, the loneliness that overwhelms you like a flood of images, the repressed anger, the unexpressed sadness, the abysmal emptiness of a life without purpose. It's not about gender. It's about confronting your own inner chaos. It's in this desert, in this apparent lack of reward, that the first seed of true transformation germinates. Every hour you endure reprograms you. You teach your body and mind a new truth. I am not your slave. I am my own master. And then, usually around the 4th or 5th day, something happens. A spark in the darkness, a surprisingly deep night's sleep. A morning when, for the first time in a long time, the mind is at peace. A clear idea for your work emerges as if by magic, a moment of complete presence during a conversation. The benefit of the first 7 days lies not in explosive power, but in astonishing clarity. We begin to perceive the matrix. We become aware of the triggers, the programming, our past reactivity. And most importantly, we discover without a shadow of a doubt that there exists within us a will stronger than our oldest addiction. The man who survives these 7 days is no longer the same as when he started. He may not have yet reaped great rewards, but he has proven to himself that he can survive in the desert. He has discovered an unsuspected inner strength, and this discovery alone changes everything. This first week is a true trial by fire. This is the filter that separates the merely curious from the truly committed. Many try, many fail, but all who persevere emerge transformed. Consider this comment section our strategy room, the place where veterans of this silent war share their wisdom and where new recruits draw their courage. So I'd like to hear your stories. Think about your own 7-day ordeal, whether it's something you've already experienced or are about to undertake. For those who have, what was the biggest obstacle you faced during that first week? Was it mental self-sabotage, withdrawal symptoms, or the overwhelming flood of emotions? And for everyone, what was the first flash of clarity or small victory that gave you the strength to keep going? That moment of clarity that proved the journey was worth it. Your tale of struggle could be a survival guide. Another man, don't get discouraged on day 6. Share your experience. Let's explore this territory together. 14 days, the awakening of clarity. The first week was a journey through the desert under a blazing sun. The second, the arrival at the first verdant hills. The hormonal and mental storm begins to subside, and the inner sky, once veiled by the clouds of compulsion and doubt, gradually opens. The fierce struggle for survival gives way to a state of calm and focused alertness. For the first time in a long time, you feel in control. Your body's cries for help become a whisper you can ignore. It seems to understand that a new leader has arrived. Your gym workouts take on a whole new dimension. Fatigue is slow to set in, and the connection with your muscles is more intense. Your eyes, those same eyes that used to avert their gaze or nervously scan the world, now maintain contact not with arrogance, but with serene firmness, a palpable presence. However, it is in your mind that the most radical change occurs. The fog dissipates. This chronic state of mental fog, of which you may not even have been aware, simply vanishes. Ideas flow again with surprising clarity. Procrastination, which had you glued to the couch like a magnet, is now just a minor obstacle you easily overcome. The strangest thing is that, as your dopamine receptors recover, fleeting pleasures lose their appeal. Spending hours scrolling through social media, compulsively eating sugar, seeking the approval of a like. It all begins to seem childish, an echo of a man who, you're not the same as before. You're becoming not only stronger, but also freer. The people around you notice it, not because you talk about your journey, but because your energy has changed. You stand taller. Your energy is more stable. What you feel isn't pride, but a serene dignity, a self-esteem that doesn't come from external sources, but is forged in the inner crucible of self-mastery. And therein lies the true gift of the 14th. It's not the absence of desire. Desire is still there like a wild and powerful horse. The difference is that now, for the first time, you hold the reins. You feel the attraction, the strength, the vitality, but they no longer overwhelm you. You realize that you are capable, and from this position of power, you choose not to do it. This freedom, this conscious choice, born of your strength and not your fear, marks the precise moment when desire ceases to dominate you and becomes your servant. It is the instant when simple restraint begins its transmutation into true power. And this power, as we shall see, is about to radiate far beyond you. 30 days. Your new identity has reached a plateau. Few achieve this. 30 days, a complete lunar cycle. One cycle has ended, and a new one has been forged in the fire of your will. Here the dynamic changes radically. You no longer fight against desire. You transcend it. Restraint ceases to be an isolated practice and becomes integrated into your identity, your very being. You feel as though an ancestral strength has awakened within you, a masculinity that is not aggressive but unwavering, not dependent but fulfilled, not noisy but profoundly serene and centered. The difference is evident in your gaze, your posture, your presence. And now the cosmic mirror reflects this new identity with astonishing clarity. The world perceives you differently because you emit a different frequency. Opportunities that once seemed distant are beginning to materialize. People no longer just hear you speak. They listen to you in silence, not because you raised your voice, but because your presence speaks volumes long before your words are uttered. Your energy, once easy currency for fleeting pleasures, has become the capital invested in your purpose. You think more clearly, act with greater precision, and begin to envision bolder, more ambitious goals that once seemed impossible. The desperate urgency of desire has given way to a serene and powerful direction. And this direction changes everything. Your mind is more stable, your body visibly stronger and full of vitality, and your soul more conscious. Pleasure still exists, but you perceive it differently. It is no longer an end in itself, but a force to be integrated, a color on your palette, and no longer the only one with which you color your reality. It is at this precise moment that the truth settles within you. It was never about repression, but about transformation. You no longer hold yourself back from living. You are learning for the first time to live fully. The energy that once trapped you in cycles of shame and apathy is the same energy that now propels you toward your full potential. You have not slain the dragon, you have tamed it, and now it flies under your command. 60 days, discipline crystallizes in a few months. From now on, the transformation is no longer a one-off event or a series of victories. It becomes part of the very essence of your being. You are not just stronger or more focused, you become more whole. Your mind, once a tumultuous battlefield, now operates with almost surgical precision. The distractions that once bewitched you like sirens have lost their power to seduce you. You no longer need to seek external stimuli, for you have explored the vastness of your inner world. The silence that once frightened you has become your greatest ally, your laboratory, your refuge, and that's where a fascinating phenomenon occurs. Your newfound inner order begins to constantly demand order from the outside. This is what we call the ripple effect of discipline. You look at your room and the mess seems unbearable. You look at your schedule, and the lack of structure throws you off. You begin to reject chaos, not out of obligation or by following some productivity guru, but because your soul, now more aligned and coherent, yearns for an environment that reflects its new frequency. Your schedule becomes more defined. Your diet becomes healthier. Your discipline spreads like a wave, reorganizing every aspect of your life. But the most profound change is the one that comes from within. A clear and direct connection to something that has always been there, but which the noise of compulsions has drowned out. Your inner compass, your intuition, the voice of your purpose. Making decisions becomes easier because you know where you're going. People sense this certainty. There's no need to speak of consistency, discipline, or energy. They sense it. They see it in your unwavering gaze. They see it in your deliberate and measured gestures. They perceive it in your silence, both calming and powerful. This unshakable consistency is accompanied by an exceptional gift and immense responsibility. You become a haven of peace for your family, your friends, your community. Your stability soothes the instability that reigns in others. Your clarity dispels the confusion of others. Anxiety no longer overwhelms you. Anger no longer blinds you. Fear no longer paralyzes you. You feel them, but they no longer control you. You finally understand that repression manifests not only in your body, but also in your soul. And your soul is sharpened like a sword, ready to cut with precision and without remorse. Everything that no longer serves you as the man you were meant to become. This text is intended to be the forge and hammer of that sword. If these words sharpen your clarity, if this message helps you forge a new resolve, then your reaction is like the sound of metal striking the anvil. It is the sign that the blade is taking shape in your hand. The warrior can now explore the more subtle dimensions of their journey. 75 days, the point of no return, the sword of their soul honed to crystal. The warrior learns the ultimate lesson of mastery. The greatest demonstration of power lies not in wielding the weapon in battle, but in keeping it sheathed, knowing it is ready and deadly if needed. Welcome to the 75-day stage. This isn't just another step on the calendar. It's a psychological and energetic threshold. It's the point of no return. What does this mean? It means that the fierce struggle, the trench warfare against desire that marked the beginning of your journey, is simply over. What was once a daily conscious challenge has become second nature. You no longer impose any restraints on yourself. You live like a man who truly belongs to himself. The idea of returning to the old habit of extravagance, of indulging in frivolous pleasures, begins to seem not only undesirable, but alien, almost repulsive. Going back would now require more effort than moving forward. The most profound change takes place in the silence of your mind. This inner dialogue, this constant negotiation with addiction subsides. External temptations persist. They always will. But now they find no support, no hold within you. Desire knocks at your door, but no one answers. Your brain, once trapped in the dopamine cycle, begins a miraculous healing process. And this is where one of the greatest rewards of this process is revealed. The rebirth of sensitivity. Your pleasure receptors, desensitized after years of artificial and hyper-realistic stimuli delivered by pornography, begin to regenerate. As a result, you begin to experience a deep and intense pleasure in simple and authentic things. The taste of fresh fruit, the beauty of a sunset, the depth of a piece of classical music, the warmth of a sincere conversation. Emotions that previously eluded you now touch you with such intensity that they can move you to tears, not out of weakness but out of boundless vitality. What was once an insatiable thirst for stimulation has become a serene presence that finds ecstasy in reality. From this new existential perspective, you contemplate the world with fresh eyes. You see people, your friends, your colleagues, still trapped in the same cycle of distraction, pleasure, and emptiness. But the judgment that may have existed in the spiritual ego of previous stages has vanished. Only serene compassion and profound understanding remain. You do not feel superior. You feel firmly grounded, like a mountain watching the clouds pass. The immense energy once consumed by inner struggle is now free and continues its alchemical work, rising to nourish the higher faculties of your consciousness. Your productivity reaches a new level, not through effort, but thanks to a state of fluidity that becomes second nature. You create with ease, solving problems with a precision that surprises even yourself. And with this comes something even rarer, a keen intuition, a clear instinct, a quiet wisdom. You begin to sense things before they even happen. You feel you are on the right path in your decisions. The voice of your inner guide is no longer a whisper, but a clear and constant communication. You no longer need to seek answers outside yourself, for the oracle resides within you. You are no longer the person who began their journey with fear and reactivity. You are a person who has achieved complete self-mastery. You are neither a hero nor a saint, but he had the courage to confront himself in the depths of his being, and he triumphed. The battle against external demons is over. Now, the only path left to him is the exploration of the divine realms opening within him. And this silent victory, this unshakable peace, prepares him for the final stage, transfiguration, where the man who undertook the journey disappears completely, giving way to a new being. 90 days, the transfiguration, 3 complete lunar cycles, a quarter of discipline, presence and inner alchemy. We have reached the point where the journey transcends transformation and achieves transfiguration. The man who embarked on this path, this empty reactive phantom, no longer exists. He has neither improved nor been repaired. He has completely disintegrated and been reborn from the fire. What emerges in its place is a new human being, functioning according to a different paradigm. The struggle is over. The inner war that consumed so much energy for so long has ceased. The body no longer fights. The mind no longer wavers. The soul finally reigns supreme. The first and most profound change occurs in your perception of time. The frenzy, the anxiety, the constant urgency of modern man, all of this fades away. We stop counting the days that remain, not through forgetfulness, but because time is no longer a prison to be counted, but an ocean to be traversed. We act with deliberate calm, but with a clear objective. You accomplish more with less effort, because every action is precise, powerful, and in harmony with your center. Your inner being has found a rhythm no longer dictated by the chaos of the external world, but by the order of the cosmos. Inwardly, hierarchy is restored. Your spirit reigns. Your mind is a faithful and brilliant advisor, clearly serving the king's vision. Your body is a powerful and disciplined general, executing orders with vigor and without hesitation. You are in harmony. This inner alignment radiates with undeniable strength. Your confidence is now unshakable. This is not the noisy arrogance of an ego that needs to boast to believe in itself. It is a profound and serene certainty, born not of external successes, but of the intimate awareness of being a man of his word, who has conquered his deepest demons and no longer betrays himself for fleeting pleasures. It is the confidence of a man who has faith in himself. The magnetism that manifested itself from the very beginning has now reached its full splendor. It becomes inevitable. You no longer just attract attention. You have become a focal point. People, opportunities, and circumstances align around you. You no longer seek leadership. Leadership seeks you. For in a chaotic world, stability is the most precious and rarest thing. You no longer chase relationships. The connection finds you because your presence has become an inexhaustible source of authenticity, a wellspring from which those who yearn for truth draw. Your relationship to sexuality has transformed. It is no longer a compulsive need or a force to be feared. It is a river of energy flowing through you, which you can channel into creation, work, or of course the sacred act of intimacy. But the choice always remains yours. When we choose to connect with a partner, it's no longer out of need or a search for comfort, but out of an overflow of energy, a celebration of life, a full and complete presence capable of healing and uplifting. At this stage, we stop searching for our mission. We become our mission. Our daily actions, our way of working, interacting, simply being, become the living expression of our deepest purpose. We guide without imposing. He inspires without promising. He attracts without coercing. He has become the very embodiment of what is possible when a man decides to connect with his deepest essence. The greatest reward of this 90-day journey is not material, but spiritual. It is the moment when, looking in the mirror, you recognize the face that gazes back at you. This is not the face of a frightened child, a shameful drug addict, or a wandering ghost, but that of an upright man. A man who has gazed into the abyss of his existence and remained unperturbed. A man who has felt the hell of his own compulsion and has repeatedly chosen the path of conscience. You have conquered not the world, but yourself. From now on, restraint is no longer an effort, but a reflection of who you have become. For the man who masters his sexual energy also masters his mind, his destiny, and the silent legacy he will leave to the world, simply because he will have had the courage to be himself. In the end, this journey was never a quest to become a sailor. It was never about counting days on a calendar or acquiring superpowers to impress the world. These are merely steps along the way, signs that we are on the right track. The true destination of this journey is much deeper. Perseverance, transformation, discipline. All these elements are tools serving one single purpose. It's about shedding conditioning, repetitive behavioral patterns, masks of insecurity, and the armor of ego you've been forced to build to survive in the modern world. The man you become after 90 days is not a new man. He is the man you have always been deep down, before the turmoil of the world made you forget. The strength you feel is not acquired. It is your natural strength which you have stopped wasting. The clarity you possess is not a new intelligence. It is your innate intelligence, now freed from the fog of the constant pursuit of gratification. The presence you radiate is not a learned technique. It is your soul ultimately, filling your entire body, free from all interference, whether anxiety or distraction. This path has never been about becoming someone else, but about eliminating everything that is not you. It has been about rediscovering your essence, your original state. The path to personal fulfillment is, paradoxically, the one that leads to less reactivity, less dependence, and greater fragmentation. It is the ultimate transformation of desire into direction, of impulse into presence, and of instinct into consciousness. But to undertake this return to oneself in a world that hysterically pulls us in the opposite direction, one quality is required more than any other. One quality that our age of conformity and social validation fears more than anything: the courage to be different. It takes quiet courage to choose discipline when everyone around you chooses the easy way out. It takes courage to confront your own discomfort instead of seeking the next distraction. It takes courage to be misunderstood, to be labeled intense, strange, or repressed by those who cannot conceive of a life not governed by the relentless pursuit of relief. Few will understand what you do. Even fewer will have the strength to try. But those who persevere, those who choose inner sovereignty over external approval, become exceptional. They become living legends, not for glory or fame, but because they had the audacity to touch the most sacred and forgotten of powers: self-mastery. And if you've made it this far in this video, know this: that same courage, that same essence, already resides within you. Something has changed and there's no going back. Thus the map is complete. From the arid desert of the 7 days where you waged war against your own demons to the luminous summit of the 90 days, where transfiguration becomes your new reality, we have traced the path not of a mere habit, but of a rebirth. The journey we have explored here reveals the most fundamental, yet most overlooked truth about masculine power. The strength you need to build your life, to lead, to create, and to love, must not come from external sources. It must be drawn from within. It's already there, pulsating within you, waiting for you to stop, sacrificing it for pleasures that leave you emptier than before. This journey isn't about becoming a perfect, flawless human being, but about becoming a whole human being. It's about having the courage to be different in a world that pushes you toward conformity. It's choosing the discomfort of growth over the familiar comfort of stagnation. The discipline that once seemed like a punishment turns out to be the path to true freedom. The constraint that appeared to be a loss turns out to be the source of your greatest strength. Ultimately, those who have mastered themselves have nothing left to prove. Their lives speak for themselves. Their presence is proof. But in reality, possessing the map isn't enough. You have to undertake the journey. And every great journey, however internal, becomes less solitary and more powerful when shared with a community, a brotherhood that understands the language of the quest, This is precisely the reason for Neuroalchemy's existence. It's not just a video channel. It's our training ground, our laboratory, the meeting point for pioneering men and women who refuse to live on autopilot. Here we fuse the neurosciences of discipline, focus and habit reprogramming with the ancient wisdom of soul, alchemy to shape sovereign human beings. If this message has resonated with you, if the call of this path has echoed deep within your soul, I extend one last direct invitation. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to receive future protocols and deepen your training with us. Join our community of those who have chosen courage over comfort and turn the inspiration of this moment into a real commitment. Share your thoughts in the comments. Leave the symbol of the man reclaiming power, the symbol of the king ascending his throne. Comment with a crown emoji. May the strength of the Awakening Legion be manifested. Thank you for being here, for your attention, and for your courage in following this map to the end. The road is long, but you are no longer alone. Until the next video,